when you plan for 2025, it's really about the big stuff. Plan for the big stuff. I truly believe that marketing should be planned on a weekly basis, and not just like I'm planning on Friday for the next week, but maybe like 2-3 weeks out, like what's happening.
Welcome to the Main Street Marketing Podcast. I am Skip Ranke, and today I am with Lisa Raebel from Raebel Girl Marketing, and we are going to be talking about marketing strategy. Thank you for joining me today, and tell me about what's going on in your world. What's going on with you?
Oh, goodness. So much. First of all, thank you for having me on the podcast again. It's always so much fun.
Yeah.
Giggle Fest is what I usually call it.
That's what it is.
A podcast. So what's going on with me? I have so many new things coming out. I have I call it a boot camp in a way, because it's like a 1-day 6-hour strategy session boot camp that I'm launching in at the end of 2024, and my next book comes out, well, hopefully sometime in October.
And what was the name of the first book?
The first book is The Raebel Girl's Guide to Marketing, and available on Amazon.
There's your shameless plug.
That's
shameless
plug,
all right.
Always. Yeah. So the next book is kind of a continuation of that, and it's all about strategy.
Nice. And where's the boot camp going to be at? Is that going to be online, or where's that going to be at?
That's actually going to be both in person and online, depending, because I have clients all over the country. So online, obviously, for that. But in person, I found a lovely little co-working space in Elm Grove.
All right.
So, yeah, it's a great little space right in downtown Elm Grove.
Very cool. Now, we're going to talk about strategy.
Yep.
Because Lisa and I have known each other for quite some time.
Yeah.
And we've used each other's services on an ongoing basis. And,
I'm continuing to use your services.
and we always will,
Absolutely.
because you're wonderful. But on your LinkedIn profile, I'm going to talk about something. It says, marketing is part of everything you do. What do you mean by that?
Well, if you really think about it, everything you do in a day has to do with your marketing.
Right.
Because marketing is perception. So from the way you pull into the parking lot when you come into the office is part of that perception. If you're like, thinking that you're in the NASCAR, right, and you're pulling in and doing a little bit of the Smokey and the Bandit.
I'm thinking about myself coming into the parking lot, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, and then people are like, oh no, the way you walk in to an office is how you get perceived. If you're the leader of an organization, if you're a business owner and you walk straight to your office and close the door, it's perception.
Right.
Every invoice, every post, the way you answer the phone, the way you don't answer the phone or not return. Everything that you do is part of that perception of how you are as a business to work with, how easy or difficult you are to work with.
Very good point.
So if you think about it, it's marketing. So I like to use the example of, let's say that the maintenance crew didn't clean the bathroom the night before. And you go in, you use the facilities, and it's dirty, and it sets you off. It's kind of a trigger, right?
Yeah.
You walk out, you're in a bad mood. Your bad mood affects the people around you. Your bad mood affects the work that you do. The bad mood affects all of the things.
Snowball effect.
It's a huge snowball effect. And it's from one tiny little thing of they forgot.
Yeah.
It's in the big scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal, but we seem to make things a bigger deal than they are, and we don't actually think about how it affects ourselves.
Yeah.
So I was told by somebody that I'm working with, and I love the way she put this, every time you walk into a door, ask yourself why you're walking into that door, and are you ready? Or do you need to take a breath before you walk into that door? So if I'm going into a client meeting, am I still thinking about the client meeting I just had? Or am I preparing myself for the client meeting I'm going into? And that door could be a Zoom call. It could be a physical door. It could be anything. And I love the way she put that, because mindfulness is absolutely part of your marketing strategy.
Yeah, you think about, and I think about back to when I was really smart in my 20s. I say that because I was completely stupid. But as that we all are. Yes. But I think about when I was doing like in sales calls and marketing back in that time frame, how I would just completely screw things up.
Oh yeah.
Because I wasn't mentally prepared, and I didn't prepare myself for appointments. I didn't take the time to clear all the garbage that's kind of the shit that's just kind of hanging around in there.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older and wiser and more experienced, I really do make a cognizant effort to just slow down,
Yep.
empty all the garbage out, write down everything from the last one, and then just kind of clear my head. And you'd be surprised as to how many people that are even our age that still don't do that. They're just bulls, and they just go right through it, and they that affects their you're talking about perception. It affects the perception of the people that they're talking to.
Yep.
And how they answer the phone. And you said this today. When you said that, I was like, oh, I just immediately flashed back to a call that I had yesterday with somebody.
What happened?
It was a vendor. It wasn't like a client or anything, but it was a vendor of somebody who we're like a service we're bringing on, software. And how the person treated me on the phone, I don't want to say it was talking down to me, but it was almost kind of like, well, I can't believe you don't understand what I'm saying. And I said, well, if I knew what this was, I wouldn't be calling your company to use this. Otherwise, I would be the one that had the knowledge of this. I'm calling you. And it was like, I'm like, well, okay. And they didn't say goodbye.
What?
They did not say goodbye. And
they just hung up?
They just said, it was like, okay. And I said, well, okay, thanks for your time. Click. And I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, did somebody just actually do that? And right then and there, I would never, ever. And I'm going to give you $5,000 for you to be this software company for me. You just lost it.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah. And it probably had nothing to do with you.
Right.
But it had to do with what happened before he got on the phone with you. He or she got on the phone with you.
Could have been somebody in their environment that could have been a boss at where it could whatever, a previous customer, but that transcended into my call, and that made all the difference they lost the sale.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking for somebody else to do it, and I found them, and they were very courteous, and we move onward and upward. But the perception of that's when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh.
I've done that.
I immediately flashed back to that call.
I actually will spend a little bit more money on somebody that I know I'm going to get good service for instead of just going with the lowest price. Because I've actually done that when we were building our house many, many years ago. We were buying appliances, and then there was this one organization that was just really, really easy to work with, and another organization that was just like, can I buy from you, please? Like, it was almost like begging them. And I was just like, and my husband's like, well, it's cheaper over here. And I'm like, yeah, but if something happens, they're going to take care of us.
Think about the service level you're going to get from that.
Yeah. And we're not spending $1,000, new house appliances, right? I mean, so it was just interesting how, and I find it so interesting because it's even your voicemail. Like, if you're not answering the phone, when's the last time you listened to your voicemail on your cell phone?
But,
the greeting.
Oh my gosh.
So
it's been a hell of a long time since I've listened to that.
So go back. And because what happened was I was talking to another business owner, and I made him check right then and there. And I had him play it out loud, and he's just like, wow. He's like, he was from vacation like 8 months ago. I'm on vacation, this kind of a thing. And it was like 8 months ago. And so I'm like, everything you do to answer your question is perception. So everything that you do has to be that way.
So my cell phone voicemail, and now I'm thinking, I'm listening to my greetings in my head as you're saying this, but my voicemail on my business line is completely different than the voicemail on my cell phone.
Why?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
Are you a different person?
No, it's just I think the tone is different.
Yeah.
But why?
Which one's nicer?
Oh, the business line for sure. I'm listening to it and I'm thinking, wow, I said they should be the same.
Yeah.
And why would they be different?
Right.
Because people have my cell phone. My clients have my cell phone.
Exactly. It's so funny because I've had people actually call me. I answered the phone like, oh, I was kind of hoping to leave you a voicemail. And I'm like, okay. They're like, but your voicemail is so nice. I feel always so good after I leave you a voicemail because your greeting is so kind. And I think it's just kind of plain. But other people have told me that like it always makes me feel positive when I listen to your voicemail. And I listen to it and I'm like, okay, it seems kind of plain to me. But all it's saying is, thank you for calling. I'm really looking forward to talking to you. But right now I'm really busy. Right now I'm busy. Mm-hmm. So I will get back to you as soon as I can. If I don't call you back within like 48 hours, please do call me back. Because I do want to talk to you, that kind of thing. And it's simple, it's easy, but
it's the little things like that.
It's little.
And that's part of the strategy and
it's not like this.
Yeah.
I can't come to the phone right now. I'm really looking forward to talking to you. Please call me back. I mean, it's Happy, it's
I'm gonna go.
positive.
I'm gonna go change my voicemails after this today. I mean, you know what? And no, people are gonna listen and say I gotta go listen, but they should.
Yeah, you should.
Because it's part of because if people don't, and part of your marketing is how like you're saying perception. It's not just what you have online. It's not just what you have on your website. It's also who you are on your cell phone, your voicemail, your conversations.
And every proposal should end with, "I'm really looking forward to partnering with you." And every invoice should say, "Thank you so much for your business. We truly appreciate you."
I just reviewed those last year,
tiny things.
and I just made a little bit of tweaks, and I even changed my email signature. It was where I think I had like 2 years ago was like, being a Christ-centered business, I was like, you know what, blessings to you.
Yeah.
Because that's just have a blessed day. It was just like respectfully yours. It's like. It was like, it was such a snoozer, but I like to say have a blessed day.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
Why not?
So it's all those little
We
things.
don't hide being Christians.
No, not at all.
Either one of us do.
No.
And so it's one of those things where I don't have something like that on mine. It's actually a really good suggestion to put on mine as well. But it's one of those things where I've never hidden being a Christian in the business world.
No, I haven't either.
We don't need to do that
anywhere.
And
that's good that you do that. I appreciate you not doing that because that's awesome. But as in the marketing world, as a business owner, let's think about it. When we talk about marketing and strategy, 2025 is coming up. How early should a small business owner, or any business owner for that matter, start thinking about their marketing strategy for upcoming year?
Now.
Right.
Well, and here's the thing. So every year there's certain organizations that have conferences, right? So maybe you didn't make a conference in 2024, but you want to go in 25, and you'll know about the cost it's going to be, and you'll know about the time frame it's going to be. Block it off. Put it in your budget, and make an intention to do it. And then usually it's like 3 to 6 months ahead of time as they start open it. Put a little tickler in your email in your calendar saying, check into such and such conference. Or what if you have a really busy season, like there are some organizations I work where this summer is just like they're slammed.
Yeah.
But they stop marketing because they're slammed. They don't have time to do marketing. So before it gets busy, plan out your summer's marketing. Put it in, you can pre-schedule most social posts and all the email blasts. You can do it all ahead of time.
Right.
Just, you don't have to do everything, but do something. Because I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs that I know are like, I was so busy for so long and I didn't do any marketing and now my pipeline is dry.
Kiss of death.
Yes.
And it happened, and a lot of people started doing that in COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And we were, no. You can't do that because you're going to lose top of mind. People are going to forget you.
Yeah. Because what is marketing's purpose in the first place? I say this all the time. It's when your customers and your prospects need what you sell, they need to think of you first. That's the entire point of marketing to begin with.
Amen.
So top of mind is always just about consistency and persistency, not annoying, persistent, but just being there, just being in front of people all the time. It doesn't even have to be anything like expensive, or just show up.
Something. I mean, it can be a monthly email. It can be sending something. I just wrote some thank you letters, thank you notes to people.
Oh
just
my God,
card.
that is gold in today's world,
but
because it's
really
everything's
love
so
it.
digital. People forget there's actually a thing called a stamp.
If they would stop raising the rates, but I mean, it's gonna be like $5 to send a card pretty soon. But in any event,
At least it gets read, though.
Amen to that. But handwritten notes, when I get those, it's the feeling that I get from that. It's like, you took time to stop and write a note to me.
I keep them.
I took a look like a thumbtack and I stick them in the wall.
Yeah, it's on my bulletin board in my office. I love it.
And when you got that moment, you turn and you look at it. It's like we work with a charity, and they sent, thanks a lot for everything you guys do, and we just have it stick in there. And every time we look at it, we're like, look what we're doing. We're making a difference. And when you talk about consistency, that's probably when people are thinking of their strategy, they have to prepare for the fact that it's not a race, it's a marathon, and they got to prepare for it and not stop.
So the second book that I'm doing, I'm comparing it to other strategies you have in your life and how easy you can be. So when you ask the question about when should we think about our marketing for next year, I'm not saying you should plan your posts and stuff for next year, but
No.
plan your budget, plan your timing, because those are the two biggest expenditures in marketing, time and money.
Right on.
But the thing is that if you think about marketing, think about it as nutrition for your business. Like, you don't eat, 2 pizzas and 2 pitchers of beer on a Sunday and then you don't eat the rest of the week, right? It's because you can throw a bunch of garbage marketing out there and think it's going to be great and then never do anything again. It's these small, bite-size, consumable amounts of marketing over time is what feeds your business, because you never stop eating.
No.
And you should never, that's the same thing, you don't stop marketing, because marketing is the fuel and the nutrition for your business.
Right.
Kind of like food is the fuel and nutrition for our bodies. So if you think about it that way, you don't have to do these big, huge guerrilla marketing campaigns.
And that, and don't be afraid to try something.
Yeah.
There's so many people that we talk to that say, well, I got this idea, but I don't think it's going to work. Well, okay.
How do you know?
How do you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's people that think that you're going to hit home runs on every single campaign that you ever do, and you're going to get immediate returns, and we're going to spend $1,000 and we're going to make 50. No, then they're not everything's going to be successful. But when business owners don't try anything, that's where you fail.
Yeah, I literally had a post on that about, like, if you're waiting for perfect marketing, you'll never do marketing. So just try it. Go out there. Nobody's going to not buy from you because it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also believe that when you plan for 2025, it's really about the big stuff. Plan for the big stuff. I truly believe that marketing should be planned on a weekly basis, and not just like I'm planning on Friday for the next week, but maybe like 2-3 weeks out, like what's happening, because it's all about what's happening in the business. And you and I both know this. Industries, I don't care what industry you're in, it shifts, it changes, it moves.
Look at now.
You change clients' strategies or client targets. You introduce new products. I mean, there's just everything is moving and changing in a business. So don't think you have to plan for 2025. Budget time and money for 2025. Make it flexible.
Yeah, it's got to be. It cannot be rigid.
It cannot be rigid. Throw some money in there for oh, I have this opportunity to sponsor something I wasn't planning on, but it's a great opportunity. But I have money in my budget to sponsor that.
Yeah.
And so that planning is more time and money, where the actual content, I think, is it's more of a moment by moment basis.
See, that's one thing I didn't do in the past. I didn't have that contingent little bucket of money over here. To where, I had, your budget is this and you're going to have this amount, that's your marketing per month. And I never had that little, well, let's have that little bucket over here just in case something pops up.
Yeah.
And we just had that. We were able to sponsor the Lauren Daigle listener party for Life 102.5.
Oh, cool.
At State Fair. And I had that. I was like, oh, when Ed called me, he's like, would you want to do that? I said, absolutely. Bucket. And I pulled from the bucket, and it was a great opportunity, because we love sponsoring them and helping them out, because it's a great radio station. But it was really cool to do that. Be able to go out and we watch the concert. It was really neat. But everybody should really do that. Have that one little area over here of money set off to the side, I think.
Yeah, just a little bit of money that, like, if something pops up that you can. I did the same thing. I wasn't planning on going to Colorado for a speaking event right after a different speaking event in October, but I had the money in the budget because it's a pay to play, and I had the money to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's nice to be able to have that little pocket of money when that opportunity pops up, because what happened was their marketing person bailed on them.
Oh.
And so she called me, and she was like, you're the next person on my list. She's like, please, please, please. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got the money. We can do it. So it was nice to be able to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And as a business owner, you really have an advantage if you can think about. I like your analogy of thinking about it every week. It's I don't. I'm always one of these guys that kind of looks out. Where do I want to? Well, you have to do that as a business owner. Where do I want to be in 1, 2, 3, 5 years? I mean, that's fine. But everything's changing so fast with how things like AI. I mean, look where that started and look where we are now.
Right.
I mean, that's just massive, and that's only going to continue to go. I mean, but you have to be able to pivot a little bit. And so, with that being said,
You said pivot.
I did.
Drink. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's stupid.
It's an old joke. Sorry.
I know. I said pivot.
Stop saying that word.
Oh, we got a drink. Okay,
It's a good thing we don't have any bourbon this time.
I can change that. But to be able to be flexible and change, I didn't use the P word. It's really it's an advantage of a business owner to be able to have those contingencies and to think about in planning, to know that you've got that flexibility. And when you make those plans and you're looking at your trends and you're looking at everything, starting early but reviewing them on a consistent basis has that little bit more flexibility. And I think I need to be a little bit more flexible in my approach for our organization.
Yeah.
I know that they already, I mean, like our, Emma and everybody does that now currently for our clients, but I need to do that a little bit more as a business owner for our organization.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice of us if marketing people took our own advice?
Yeah, it would be really good.
That'd be lovely. Mm-hmm.
It's like an auto mechanic. His car is not run the best, but everybody else's car is great,
I truly feel that way.
It really does happen that way.
Take my advice sometimes.
I know. So, what are some other advantages that a business owner has by starting and planning their year ahead? I mean, or like looking at down the road. What are some other advantages? Budget, preparing that way.
Yeah. I'm going to say you can keep your hair. Sorry, skip. But
That's heredity.
because there's nothing more frustrating than not being prepared for your marketing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like one of those things where you're a subject matter expert over here and your marketing is part of being a business owner. But when you don't prepare ahead of time, it's the worst feeling. I again, wish I could take my advice sometimes. I can't tell you how many times that I've been like, oh my gosh, I probably should put a post up today. What am I going to post about? And instead of just like, I have a plan. I know exactly what's going to be happening. I'm calm about it. It's already done in Canva or wherever I have it. I just need to put it up there, or I've already posted it. And I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that like our clients have, it's hard to believe, but there are marketing emergencies, right? Websites go down.
Oh yeah.
I have a proposal. It doesn't look very good. Can you zhuzh this up, right? And so what's nice is that like, I feel good having all that stuff done and prepared and planned ahead of time, that I don't have to like think about it.
Less stress.
It's so much less stress. And again, you're still feeding your business that marketing nutrition that it needs to be top of mind when your clients do need you.
And a business is stressful enough, and having to,
Yep.
I mean, with all the other stuff you got to do, you throw marketing on top of that and being stressed out, it just multiplies and just makes everything just so much bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are some tips that a business owner can have for as they're creating their marketing strategy?
Well,
what would you say about
what
that?
I find super interesting is that most business owners I talk to don't even ask themselves why they need marketing in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I need more revenue and I need more clients. Okay, how does that translate to a campaign? Buy from me, I need money. I mean, like, you can't, those are not your reasons to have marketing. Right. The reasons you have marketing is that you're a subject matter expert. You make people's lives better. You fill the gaps in their business. You have solutions or solve problems or
fill that need.
You fill a need, right? Yeah. See a need, fill a need, robot.
That's it.
Movie, yeah. And so what happens is that like that's your marketing, because if you understand who your target audience is and you understand like what they're hungry for. I'm going to go back to the something that's digestible as far as nutrition for your business. And what happens then is that then you attract the right customers and the revenue will follow. Mm-hmm. If you focus only on the revenue, your marketing campaigns are it doesn't come across as helpful. It comes across as selfish and needy, and nobody wants to buy from somebody like that.
I had a conversation with one of my kids, and I was talking to him, and they were saying, if I do this and I do this, I'll make money. I'll have this money, and I'll have this money. I'll have more revenue. I'll have more money. And I was like, the whole conversation was driven around money. And I said, that's very similar to what you were just saying. I said, I said, not everything in the world is always about money. I mean, how are you helping somebody while you're doing that?
Right.
How are you helping? So when you think about it in that perspective, that's exactly what I said to him. I said, if a business owner, all they do is they focus on how much money they can make and make and make and make. Their marketing, their campaigns, their message is going to come across money. And that will turn off consumers so quick.
Yep.
And we've pulled people back and said, you're not running that campaign. You can't do this. We got to change this. It's not about the money.
It's not. And it's so funny because everybody's like, and I spent so much time in corporate America that it was like, it was always about the stakeholders and the shareholders, not about the employees and the clients.
Right.
Which is what made me leave in the first place.
Yep.
is that if you focus on the clients and you focus on their needs and you're helpful, and the money will follow.
It always does.
It always does. And some of the most successful organizations in this country are built based on leaders who have that mentality.
Yep.
Take care of your employees. Your employees will take care of you.
That's right.
And the business.
It's all a
Branson, right? I mean,
symbiotic circle.
Yeah. And so the best leaders in the world focus more on the quality of the products and the customers than they do on if the revenue is going to follow.
Absolutely. So now you've been in business for
almost
7 years?
Yeah, 6.5-ish. Yeah.
All right. So what is one of the biggest lessons that you've learned in creating marketing strategies?
Peace.
Okay.
Seriously, just peace of mind.
Okay.
If you know what to do, because marketing in and of itself can be complicated. It can.
It can be.
There's a lot of pieces to it.
There's a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts. It's changing. It's flexing. And, Google changes the algorithms every 50 seconds. And so it's like you can't keep up with that kind of stuff. But what you can keep up with is making sure that your target audience is informed.
Right.
And your target audience knows how you help.
Yep.
If you just focus on those two things and do it a week, 2 weeks ahead of time, and have it all planned out and know what to do. And then when you have something that's more of an organic post, like you go to a networking a networking event, and you take a picture with a friend and you post that, that to fill in those gaps, you're not worried about all that other stuff.
Peace. I was not expecting that. But that's a really good point, though.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think back 7 years when it was just, Emma and I, and we were gearing up and we were rolling up, and it was just everything was going crazy, and we were just kind of, I don't want to say some things, we were just kind of throwing against the wall to see what was sticking. We just the plan, and
but that's okay.
It's all right. But we were doing so much of it that all of a sudden we said, wow, we're not even focusing in our geographical location we wanted to even focus on. Mm-hmm. We need to dial back, slow down. We were excited, and that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it was so hair on fire strategy that we didn't have the peace. Now we do, because we have learned lessons as you get older. And now it's always structured what we're doing where, and maps and everything. But the peace is a good word. I never even really thought about it that way.
You're committing random acts of marketing.
By
the way, that's the subtitle to the first book.
Nice. But that's a good point, though. I mean, and I think that's, if people can, as business owners, like we said before, you got enough stress in your life, and if you've got a decent plan and a nice strategy in place, it makes life a little bit easier.
Because what is a business owner most worried about? Not being in business.
Yeah. That's what keeps you up at night.
It does.
Absolutely. I got 3 hours of sleep last night. Yeah, I know. And I woke up and it was like, I went to bed at like 10:30, and all of a sudden it was like, dink. And I'm like, 1:30. I'm like, no.
Please,
Go back to sleep. And I ended up getting a little bit more, but it's just like 3 hours. I'm like, this can't happen. And the reason why I was up was not even worth being up. I mean, it wasn't the worry that I had in my head. I didn't journal before I went to bed last night.
Oh. Give it to God. Go to sleep.
Give it to God, I know. And I didn't do that because I just was dead tired from the night before. So I'm in this bad, vicious circle. But I was like, there's nothing even to worry about, but you can have a little less stress.
Well, and if marketing is the one thing that's going to feed your business and get you to the next level, take that one worry out of there and then worry about your clients. I mean, plan ahead, know what's going on, have a strategy. And if you have that strategy, part of that strategy is actually even knowing what you sell, who you're selling it to, where you're going to go, when you're going to go. I mean, there's a whole lot of components to it. But when you sit down and take the time, get rid of the cell phones, get rid of all the things, just sit down with your team, get a pen and paper. Sorry, I'm old school.
No,
there's
I think
no
that's
distractions.
Great.
And just talk about hey, what does 2025 look like?
Yep.
What do we want December 31st, 2025 to look like? Not to worry about it, but to kind of say, okay, we're going to launch this product. We're going to I want to get on stages. Whatever the case might be, right? Because one of my main goals for 2025 is to get on more paid stages. And so what do I need to do now in my marketing to do that in by the end of 2025? So it's about, why do you need marketing in the first place? People forget to ask themselves that question.
Yeah.
It's like going to the grocery store without a list.
I always do that. But that's just me because I hate shopping. But I mean, well, you think about it though. I mean, my CFO and I had this conversation on Friday, and before I left on Friday, he says, "Here's a question for you. What is 2025? What do you want that to look like at the end of 2025? Where do you want to be? Let's think about that and come back next week and talk about it." Well, that's a hell of a question to give me on a Friday afternoon for on a weekend where I'm going to be but it was a great question because my mindset in doing all the chores I was doing on the weekend was thinking, where do I want to be? And that's going to be our topic of our corporate meeting that we're going to be having, our planning session.
Right.
Where do we want to be in 2025 and 26?
And where do I need to go to get there?
Right. And what is everybody, and do I have to reinvent any wheels here, or can I just use things that we're already using and just tweak them?
Yeah.
It's all those little things, and it's good that you think about it that way.
Yeah, and I truly believe that the way that you have your mindset when you're creating your strategy, the way you have your mindset, I mean, because here's the thing. If you're rushed and you're in between meetings and you're fitting in a marketing meeting in between there, it's going to be crap marketing.
Absolutely. We shut the phones off. The cell phones are off. We don't, I mean, I think you just disconnect.
I actually move locations. Like I work from home. The libraries in the area have so many great like study rooms, especially like during the school year, no kids are in there. Like, right?
True.
But you go in there and I like literally just kind of, I don't even sign up to their internet connection.
So you go off location.
I go off location. Off location is very important because everything else is extremely distracting.
We don't go off location. We come down a floor.
Which is kind of off location.
Kind of, I guess it is. But
you're not at your desk. You're not seeing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not. But, you are still accessible to that computer because you know that it's up one floor. So, on our breaks, people will go and check their emails and stuff, which I suppose you can. But you know what? Maybe we're going to go off location, like off
Just
this
off.
year. I'm going to look for something.
Yeah, what's nice about that is that you bring a computer because you got to look stuff up.
You have to, yeah.
And you have to make notes and you have to do somebody has a computer taking notes or whatever the case might be. My point is that your mind has to be clear. So I was doing a Bible study one morning and the quote and a meditation and the quote was, you have to stop your mind so your soul can sing. Mm-hmm. And so part of that marketing is stopping all that other stuff that's cluttering your mind and your business. So you're that passion, the reason you started that business in the first place. Because I always say, there's nobody in the world that could talk about your business that you started, your founder, right?
Yep.
That could talk about the joy and the excitement and the enthusiasm of your business than you. So the business owners who say, I want you to come do my marketing, but I don't want anything to do with it, I won't work with them because it's not my business.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point.
And so that's why, you bring in your team. I mean, I had one client, he was a manufacturing client and he sold business to consumer things. And I said, you should bring your production manager in for your marketing meeting. He goes, why? I go, this person touches your product every day. You don't think he has
Everywhere.
An idea
about
how to maybe market better or like package it better or anything else that comes to mind. And he did a couple of little tweaks that we talked about and his business like doubled.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just little things.
Yeah.
It's not,
I should have got the retainer up front though. Because he didn't need the second part of our contract.
Well, but you know what? You help somebody.
You live and learn.
You help somebody.
I did.
And that goes right back to it's not always about the money.
Always about the money.
No, it's not.
But that is the joke.
Right. All right. So here we go. We're going to play a game though.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Why?
I suck at trivia.
Oh, you'll be fine. It's going to be wonderful. Oh my God. Trust me. And
all right.
you don't have to be perfect at it.
Good, because that's never going to happen.
You should be though. But I'm just saying.
No pressure.
She did write a book. No, I'm just saying. Okay, so we're going to talk about marketing trivia. So I'm gonna put your marketing knowledge to the test here.
Oh no.
Okay, so with these marketing trivia questions, I'm gonna read the question, give you 4 answers, and you just.
And it's multiple choice.
Yeah.
Oh, you really hate me. Okay, go on.
I don't hate you. I love you. That's why I'm giving you 4 options.
Okay, go.
All right. The first question, according to ZipRecruiter.
Okay.
What is the average? And you're probably this is a guess, but what is the average annual pay for a chief marketing officer in the U.S.?
Chief marketing officer.
Chief marketing officer.
Okay.
160,000.
Okay.
180,000. 200,000 or 225,000.
B.
I don't know what the answer is. I can't see it. No, it's A. It's 160.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see they're highlighted, and I can't see that with the reflection.
Sure.
Yeah, it's 55-year-old eyes. Yeah, that's it. Question number 2. What is the number 2 search engine in the world? Bing, DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, or YouTube?
YouTube.
Very good. Number 3. What year was Facebook founded?
Oh, good Lord.
2003, 2004, 2005, 2006.
2005.
2004.
Really?
Yeah. I was a little bit shocked by that one when I read it. It's like 20 years old.
Okay, it's not fair. You're gonna be like year after year after year. Like you could have gone like 1998 and 2005.
I'm just
or
reading
something.
what they did for me. I'm not that creative. All right, let's look at this one.
If it's M, I'm gonna come after her. No, I'm kidding.
It's not. It's Kristen. So I'll give you your email. What animal was featured in the first Instagram photo ever? Was it a dog, a cat, a monkey, or a bird? I would have no idea on this, by the way.
I'm gonna say a dog.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good guess.
It's the most common.
It is. But I would never have even known that. I mean, hell, I just
More
got
fun if it was like a penguin or something.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
Or a toucan. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that. And then which of these is... My grandson says, can we have the toucan cereal? I know. And I'm like, it's Fruit Loops. He's like, toucan.
No, from now on in your lifetime, it's going to be the toucan.
It's the toucan cereal, yes. Which of these is not... What? Which of these is not a slogan used by McDonald's?
Mickey D's. Okay.
Mickey D's. You deserve a break today. Mm-hmm. I'm loving it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to break the rules. We love to see you smile.
Sometimes you got to break the rules.
Nice. So that's Burger King's. I did not know that.
I didn't know it was Burger King's.
That's what it says. And the next one is how many different... This one blew my mind.
Okay.
How many different product items does Nestle, candy bars, stuff like that, sell each day in the world?
Oh, good Lord.
Right? So it is either 10 million, 100 million, 10 billion, or 1 billion.
It's either B or C.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go big and say C.
Right. 1 billion
Are you kidding
products a day. And then Emma went and looked up what they have. They have like Ice Mountain water. They own that.
Aside from all the
all the candy. They own so many different things. I was not even aware of how much what they have in product
that's
lines.
a very good point.
Look it up.
Candy bars.
It's pretty staggering how much they have.
Okay.
And then as of 2023, what percentage of worldwide advertising is through Google?
Google.
Is it 39%, 42%, 53%, or 46%?
53.
39%
Oh.
is through Google, and I would have expected that to be a little bit more.
I expected it to be a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not, but
me too.
Yeah.
But it's 39%. I was expecting it to be in the 50s.
Well, I'm just, people drink a lot of that Google Kool-Aid and think that that's the be all and end all when it's just not, as we know as marketers.
Oh, it's not. There's so many different things you can do.
Google's going to come after me one of these days because I don't always talk nicely about them.
I don't either. You should hear me in my office. If they had a microphone in my office, I'd have been in court
They
like
do. It's
5
called your
years.
phone.
They can't hear me. I was really creeped out the other day because we were talking about, Kathy and I were talking about like redoing the kitchen or something.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I started seeing ads.
Yep. Of course you did.
And I'm like, what the hell? Where did you even hear me from that you would even know that?
Yeah. My friends do things like they take my phone and they go, men's bikini underwear, men's bikini underwear, men's bikini underwear. And I'm looking at my husband's like, why do you have men's bikini underwear on your feet?
I'm so going to do that to people. That's hilarious.
You know, it's only funny when you do it to somebody else. When they do it to you, and you're like, oh. And then I'll do a screenshot, and then I'll like text it to them, and like, you evil wenches.
That's funny. And what you've learned today on Main Street Marketing Podcast is how to mess with your friends and have advertisements show up on their phone. No, but thank you so much for joining us today. It was a lot of fun. Don't forget, what's your email address or your address for your book? Where can they get it at?
You can actually go to rebelgirlmarketing.com, and there's a book tab, and there's a link to the Amazon there. So.
And it's available on Amazon. So thanks for joining me
Amazon.
today.
Yeah,
Look forward to her second book. She's amazing. And thanks for joining us today. Make sure you follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Amazon Podcasts. Jeez. Apple Podcasts. And follow us. We got a lot of great things coming up for the rest of the year and in 2025. Thanks for joining the Main Street Marketing Podcast. I'm Skip Ranke. This is Lisa Raebel. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for watching the latest episode of the Main Street Marketing Podcast. We really hope you got some great information. If you know somebody else who can use it, share it and like it, because we want to help as many business owners as we can. And also, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and hit that bell so as we release more episodes, we can give you even more content to help you in your business. Thanks.